Welcome to the live stream, everybody. It's good to be with you here on a Monday night. Kicking it off. Woo! Oh, I got a lot to show you tonight. I got a new t-shirt. Every so often I get a YouTube comment that's so priceless that I clip it and I put it on a t-shirt and I wear it. Oh no. I just had this up in my history. Got an exciting new clothing. I just had it up. Please let me still be logged in. Save designs. Yes. This one. This is the best. I love this comment. The comment reads, Bardwell comes across as a bad actor and a bit of a narcissist. He really could compress his videos into much less. I rarely open any of his videos. Too many narcissistic traits for me. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'll wear that in public. And I got it printed on a t-shirt. I'm very proud of myself. Yeah, I'm very happy to tell you about that. And was it Trappy? No, I don't know who it was. Well, it's right here. The guy's name is Sparkyemic. I don't know. And also I'm very happy. I'm having a special little drink today. You guys have no idea. I guarantee you have no idea what this is. Because you're going to think it's like bourbon or something. No. You are wrong. Look at this. This, you have no idea how good this is. I was fortunate enough to, I got, someone reached out to me and said, hey, I've got a job for you. I was like, oh, what is it? They described the job. I was like, I could do that job. And then they said, it's in St. Croix. And I said, my day rate just went down. So last week when I was out of town, I was actually in St. Croix. It was work. It was all work, though. It just worked all the time. Didn't do anything fun. It wasn't beautiful and luxurious. And so they make this on the island. They make this vodka. It's made from breadfruit that they grow on the island. So it's not made from potatoes. You can distill vodka out of anything with sugar in it. They make it out of breadfruit, and then it's infused with all these flavors. And this one is, well, anyway, I can't hardly describe to you the flavors. Ginger, turmeric, lemongrass. It's so good. So I thought I would. And here's the other cool thing. So like I was like, this is so good. And like some of the more esoteric flavors, they don't ship off the island. Like you can buy, this is Mutiny Island vodka. You can buy Mutiny Island vodka if you imbibe, if you like a spirit. There are several flavors that are available. They're all delicious. We tried all of them. This little sip here, little sip there. Suddenly you're like 9 shots in and you're not sure what happened. They're all good. If you're into spirits, don't think of it like vodka. Like it's infused. It's not like it's not just like a vodka flavored. It's like the vodka is infused with the flavor. Anyway, they're very good. If you can find one to purchase, I would encourage it. But these flavors, there are some of the flavors that you can't get off the island, according to the bartender I talked to. But here's the deal. The airline will check. They have a little box they put the vodka in, like a special box that holds up to 6 bottles of vodka. I didn't buy 6 bottles. And the airlines will check it for free. For free. I had 2 checked bags. I had my personal bag and I had some drone fixing supplies in another case. I had 2 checked bags. I had no more checked bags. The airline saw that box. They open it up and they look to see that you actually have locally produced liquor in it. And then like, you're supporting the island, man. And then they let you check it for free. You can bring it home. So I did. And now I am reminiscing about, Anyway, that's what we're doing. No. What we're doing is answering questions. We're answering questions. Valenti's got your questions queued up. I'm going to answer them. We're going to go for about 2 hours. Life's going to be good. Life's going to be especially good because I have this delicious drink. I'm already feeling pretty good. I'll feel even better as I drink some more. Let's take this question from Sam Wilson. Fiber optics on drones. What's your opinion? So what Sam Wilson is talking about is something like this. If I go to AliExpress and let's see here. I don't know why that's there. That has nothing to do with me. All of this other stuff, this watch-related stuff, clearly that's targeted at me based on my shopping history. This, I don't know why. That's just a coincidence. Every other thing you see on this page, a solder station. Oh, see, this has nothing to do with me. Watches, all targeted exactly at me. I deny any knowledge of why there is an Ileana anime figure. I don't know who that person is. It's a coincidence. Seriously, I don't. Who is it? Anyway. Okay, that's not... Hello. Really? Really? There we go. What you're asking about is something like this. Let me just zoom this in slightly. This is a fiber optic cable that you install on a drone, like so. There we go. And, oh God, please, let's take this picture. Okay, open a new. No, I can't do that. Oh my God, can I just? Thank you. Okay, don't click, don't move your mouse, don't do anything. You install it on the drone, and then a ground unit wires up to your goggles and your controller, your hand controller, and your video and your control link go over the fiber optic cable. The drone flies away, and as it flies away, the fiber optic cable pays out. Right? So people imagine that there's like a fishing spool on the ground, and it rolls out as the drone flies away, and the drone has to pull and they ask, what happens if the fiber gets snagged? That's not how it works. The spool is on the drone, and as the drone flies, the fiber pays out, and if the fiber gets snagged, big deal, just more of it pays out. Okay? So the advantage of this is that there is perfect video. You don't fail-safe. You cannot fail-safe unless the fiber optic cable gets damaged or severed or cut in some way. You can fly literally anywhere. That's kind of cool. A disadvantage, but number one, the damn thing is heavy. The exact weight depends on, usually there's a chart here that shows the weight. I don't see it. The damn thing's heavy. The exact weight depends on how long the spool is. The spools are from like 1 kilometer to, I've seen them advertised 20 or 30 kilometers. And the spools weigh between, say, 500 grams and 2.5 kilograms. Pretty substantial weight, depending on how far you want to go. They're expensive. They're not cheap, although this seems like it's excessively, that's more expensive than I think they usually are. I could be wrong. Yeah, there you go. 10 kilometers. Let's see. Here we go. 2 kilometers. Yeah, $200 for a 2-kilometer spool. That doesn't include the ground station, though. Anyway, they're heavy, so you're going to carry a lot of extra weight. And, of course, you're leaving this damn fiber optic cable behind you wherever you go. So, number one, it's a mess. Right? You wouldn't want to do this. I've thought about getting one of these and, testing it out for my channel because it's kind of cool. But, I would leave a fiber optic line all over my neighborhood, and I don't think I would... Only one left! Only one left! I have to check out real quick. Only one left. Okay, I'll wait. I'll do that after. That's probably more than one left. I'll bet there's more than one left. They almost got me. The other thing is that you couldn't do, I don't think you could do like acro freestyle stuff with this because the cable will, if you do like a snap roll or something, the cable will probably get snagged in your props. So you're going to fly relatively sedately. So what do I think about it? I mean, for most use, it's completely unacceptable because you leave fiber optic cable all over the place, right? That's just rude. You're going to leave 10 kilometers of fiber optic cable all across the landscape. Who's going to clean that up? The place where it's being used, obviously, is places where it's being used in Ukraine, for example, right? Where, like, well, we're doing a lot of things that are going to leave an impact on the landscape. And that's just the consequences of fighting a war. So, yeah. So, I you know, I've seen videos of dudes walking through these fields and just there's just spider webs of fiber optic cable all over the field from all the drones that have flown overhead. It's crazy. I think like at the end of World War II, there were places in Europe where it had so many landmines that you couldn't go there anymore. And people had to figure out how to clean up the landmines. Well, the good news is that leftover fiber optic cable doesn't explode. It's just an environmental hazard. Like, I think of like these combines. Like if someday the war is over and people are farming those lands, right? You're going to be freaking, your tractor's going to get all snagged in this stupid fiber optic cable. What the frick? I don't know. But there you go. It's a big deal, though, because it means that you can't be detected, number one. So if you're flying a drone in the air with a video transmitter, other people can detect that you're there. And obviously, in warfare, stealthiness matters. You get a fiber optic spool. Well, you could still maybe pick up the audible signature of the drone, but you're not going to pick up the radio signature. And then number two, you can't be jammed. So, like, it's pretty nice. Anyway, what do you think about it? I think for hobbyists, it's a non-starter. Like, theoretically, a hobbyist or a professional, a commercial operator, you could use this to do something like tunnel inspection, right? You could inspect a tunnel network or maybe pipeline inspection. And you have like a little rover or a little tracked vehicle and you drive it through the pipe and you pay out a fiber optic cable. And then when you're done, you kind of just reel it back in. I don't know exactly what you do and you clean it up afterwards. But for typical, use, it's a non-starter. Anyway. Only one left. But I'm sure it's such a good price. I can't do it. It's not time for that. Speedy F7 was flying great, but since a recent crash, it will hover with twitchy motors, then yaw to the moon over about 50% throttle. Damaged flight controller? Damn straight. Your gyro got damaged, probably. Or in some way, like the gyro chip itself didn't get damaged, the power supply to the gyro got damaged, something like that, and now your gyro isn't working right, and basically new flight controller time. Unless you could identify some physical damage to the drone that is causing the flight controller to get bad vibrations. Like if you crack the frame, it is absolutely possible you've got some hidden frame crack that you can't see. And as you raise the throttle, you get resonance and it flies to the moon. So give it a once over. Give it a once over and look for any kind of physical damage. But then, yeah, I think flight controller is likely. Flight controller seems likely. Sorry about that. Which FPV backpack is currently the best you can buy, in your opinion? Funny you ask that. I don't know if you can see. I've got backpacks back behind me. I've been working on reviews of FPV backpacks. The one that is Oh, you can tell it's my current daily driver because it's still got all my shit in it from the trip I just took. My current favorite is the PGY Tech. I'm tempted to open it up and show you how I've got it loaded out, but all my shit will fall out. I don't think it's a good idea, so I'm not going to do that. I like the PGY Tech. It's got solid build quality. It is just a bit smaller than the others, which might make you think, oh, well, don't I want my backpack to hold more stuff? But I find that it holds a good amount of stuff. And the slightly more compact form makes it a little bit easier when, like, getting in and out of a plane, getting in and out of loading it into a car, stuffing it into an overhead compartment or something like that. Like my Rotor Riot bag, which was my previous daily driver, could hold so much stuff that sometimes it was so damn heavy. I was like, what am I even doing here? On the back there, I've got the iFlight bag and the Lumineer bag and the Race Day Quads bag. The Race Day Quads bag is inexpensive. I'll bring it over. Now, the Race Day Quads bag is empty, so I could even open it up and show it to you. By the way, I have full reviews of these. I have to record the review. I want to release them all at once, so you guys can just see all the backpacks. So I have one more to record, and then I'll be putting them out. The Race Day Quads bag, only like 80 or 90 bucks. It's less than 100 bucks. It's the least expensive of any of them. It's significantly smaller. And I think that you kind of got to ask yourself, would I be better served by just getting like a regular backpack? Because like an $80 or $100 regular backpack is a pretty good bag. Whereas when you get the specialized small batch stuff, it's a little bit more, you're compromising a little bit in some ways. But it's nice. It opens up. We got dividers on the inside. Not very many dividers. And the way, the number and size of dividers doesn't give you a lot of flexibility in how you lay it out. Like basically you get two shelves. And like, because these dividers aren't very tall and you don't get very many of them, you're going to have a big space at the top or a big space at the bottom or a big space in the middle, kind of no matter what you do. So it'd be nice if it came with a few more dividers, but it's okay. It's pretty rigid. It's got some structure to it. Which like if you just buy an off-the-shelf backpack, it probably won't have that kind of structure and rigidity, which is what you're looking for. Yeah, got some tools in here. Right, little zipper, you know. It's a solid backpack. I really like this pocket up top where you can reach in and you can just like, you can throw a little thing, you know, throw your keys in there, throw your wallet in there. If you need to go through security, throw your headphones in there. You know, little things like that. I really like that. It's covered in MOLLE webbing. You can strap things to it. I don't know if they stole this from Rotor Riot or if they already had this, but the rip and dip pocket that Rotor Riot, as far as I know, Rotor Riot pioneered this. The side, well, I mean, camera bags have done it for a while, so I don't mean to say that. But Rotor Riot was the first FPV bag I saw that had this side open where you can get your goggles out and stuff. They have that. That's kind of cool. It's changed a lot from the very, very first Race Day Quads backpack that I saw, which was kind of cheap and sad. The Lumineer bag, the iFlight bag. The iFlight bag on the outside looks like the absolute coolest. Like, it's got so much going on the outside. It's so well organized. We have these amazing pockets with organization on the inside. Lots of options here. We got little bungee, little elastic straps. We got this kind of strap, the non-elastic kind of strap, webbing. We got a zipper pocket here. Like, lots of stuff going on. It's big. They're probably all carry-on legal, but this is a big-ass backpack. It's tall. When you get to the inside, it's kind of weird. It's enormous, right? If you insist on putting your drones inside the bag, the iFlight V2 bag, I think, is the one that is most likely to make you satisfied. We've got this kind of shelf here, And we can go in the top and get stuff out from there without opening the backpack up. So you put like your goggles and stuff in there. I have never really got on well with this style of shelf, though. Like, I find it pretty annoying that anything that's in this top section, and my PGY Tech bag came this way too, it's kind of just flapping around. There's no way to like put additional dividers in here. Because if you did, you couldn't get at the stuff because you got to pull this up and reach in to get the stuff out, or go through the top, I suppose. So I always find this to be kind of wasted space. Like, you could put stuff there, but it's not well organized. And on my PGY Tech bag, I actually bought a couple extra dividers to reorganize it and get rid of this. Which, again, you know, it's money out of my pocket, but so you might not like that. But and then iFlight did a weird thing. The bottom section is all in this, like, bathtub. Like, what the frick is going on here? It makes no sense to me. So, like, I got all, like, am I going to take everything out of my bag and carry it around? I have no idea why they did that. Is it for additional rigidity? I honestly don't know. You're like wasting. You're wasting 5% of the volume on this thing. Right? And I asked iFlight, and they were like, well, you might take that out and then just use this as a regular backpack. And then all your FPV stuff, just set it aside. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. I don't really understand why you would want to do that. So, like, just on a philosophical level, this kind of bugs me because I kind of don't understand the point. And it seems like it's kind of wasted resources and wasted space. But it's a lot of space on this backpack. It is true. You could fill this thing the heck up. That's the iFlight bag, V2. And then the Lumineer bag. I think the Lumineer bag, it's pretty good. Very robust structure. Big bag. Lots of surface here for mounting drones. Right? You got a top section here. You put stuff in. I love that. It opens from the front. A lot of bags these days are opening from the rear. It bucks the trend and it opens from the front, if you like that. Got a lot of room in here to lay out, do whatever the frick you want. It's deep. And the dividers are rigid. I don't know what's in here. It's like hard plastic. I can't really demonstrate this to you. It's like hard plastic. So, got a shelf here. Reminds me of the original Torval bag. Shelf here, maybe for your transmitter. Got a lot of... I had a bag laid out very like this for a long time and really liked it. Little disappointed. You can see that we don't have Velcro on the back of the dividers, so stuff's going to fall through. Whereas on the PGY Tech bag, the dividers all have back Velcro, so they truly are separated. The Velcro is normal. It's not that, like, really... It doesn't feel like really good. But there's people for whom the layout of this bag is really going to appeal. Same deal here with the side. Got little pouches here. Reminds me of the Torval bag in some ways. I wonder if there's some sharing going on. The laptop section is enormous. And the laptop section opens from the side. So unlike all the other bags, when you flip your backpack open, you're not flipping your laptop over. One thing that bugs me is it does not have removable waistband. Again, this is very, very similar to the Torval bag. When I have my Torval bag, I cut these off because I don't like to use the waist strap most of the time. So, which is the best? Well, I like the PGY Tech the best. I think the Rotor Riot, the Rotor Riot V2 is my second favorite. I don't think I would take any of these bags over the Rotor Riot V2 and the PGY Tech. I have leaned into the PGY Tech a little bit. It has a little bit better build quality, and I like the more compact size compared to the Rotor Riot bag. For somebody who wants a lot of space, I think I would take the Lumineer bag. And then for a budget-oriented person, I think the Race Day Quads bag is worth consideration. It's not terrible, but you should look at what you could get for $100. Like, you're not getting a lot with the Race Day Quads bag in terms of, like, dividers and structure and size. And you should look at what you could get for $100 if you just bought yourself like a regular, like, you know, a regular backpack. And then I think the iFlight bag is my least favorite of them, but I really wanted to like it, but that weird way they did the dividers on the inside, it just killed it for me. But if you love that shelf style of layout and you want to put a 5-inch drone on the inside, that bag will do it. And so maybe that's the winner for you. Anyway. Yeah. I also like one more thing. On the PGY Tech bag, the dividers are relatively thin. They're not very padded. But it means that you have less wasted space on the inside. And I haven't found it to be an issue with protecting my gear. Yeah, go ahead, Blunty. I heard you wanted to jump in.
Do any of these bags have like a lipo bag in them or some like protection?
I don't think any of them come with a lipo bag. The Rotor Riot backpack, I think it does. I'm not 100% sure if that's not an add-on. Yeah, I think that's a casual. So the Lumineer bag and the iFlight bag come with a small Velcro tool pouch. It's a little tool pouch and zipper top, and it has some Velcro on it, so it'll stick inside the bag. You can pull it out. Yeah. Adam Barlow says, these backpacks seem pretty high-priced to me. The reason they're high-priced, Adam Barlow, is they are small batch, okay? Camera bags are already more expensive to manufacture, okay? Because you have all the dividers and so on, right? It's a little bit more engineering that goes into them. But the real reason is that, you know, when you sell a backcountry backpack, you're probably selling, I don't know how many, lots of them, because lots of people go hiking, right? Lots of people go camping. When you sell an FPV drone backpack, you are, number one, you're buying a smaller number of them because FPV is very, very hype trainy. So you could buy this product, it could be hot, then suddenly it's not hot anymore, and now you're stuck with inventory. Manufacturers don't want to buy a lot of something all at once, and the sales numbers overall are lower. And so the margin, so you end up charging more. So like $200 feels like a lot, but I actually think that's the sort of $200 to $250 price range is about where these backpacks land. And with a little bit of insight on what the manufacturer, like obviously I don't know everything, but like I do have a little bit of insight in what it costs to design and manufacture these. That is not an unreasonable markup compared to other things that are in the industry. But you're right. You could get a much better backpack for $200 or $150 if you buy a backpack instead of a FPV backpack or camera drone backpack or something like that. But it won't have the internal dividers. It won't have some of the things we look for in an FPV backpack. The thing is, Blunty, going back to the question about the batteries, like you can have a Kevlar battery bag, but like if you're going flying and you've got 6, 8, 10 batteries stuffed in there and one of them lights off, that's not going to help you very much. Like it might help you a little in that you could like maybe grab the bag and yoink the bag, but like there's going to be so much fire coming out of that thing.
I just think it would be interesting to see someone integrate like if I really want to keep stuff in my bag, I'd like to keep batteries in there too. Like, I don't know. It would be nice.
I do.
Right, but you're just increasing fire risk, right? So like to 100%. Me, it would be nice to have like, why couldn't you like work with BatSafe and integrate a BatSafe into one of the components, or like it'd be heavier, but I mean it'd be way more secure. I don't know, something like that might be interesting to see on an FPV backpack, to really do an FPV specific design to like, hey, this is actually safe to wear around. You know, it just feels bad with people walking around with 8 batteries on their back that aren't protected. That's what I would say.
You're not wrong. Yeah, I mean you could always ditch the backpack, but then all your other shit's gonna go up. People in the chat have the idea to mount the battery bag on the outside so you could jettison it if anything goes wrong. Valid. Anyway, that's my take right now. I'm going to be doing a roundup of all these bags in the next day or two, and you should see that coming out on the channel soon. But you basically got the gist of it for free right here on the live stream. So let's keep going. How do you correct drift when calibrating the sticks doesn't work? Asks Patrick Delaney. Patrick, first thing is if you're in angle mode or horizon mode, you need to calibrate the accelerometer and trim the accelerometer. The sticks are centered, but if the drone thinks that flat and level is 45 degrees to the left, then it's always going to drift, right? So make sure your accelerometer is calibrated, and even after you calibrate it, it will still drift a little bit. That's the other thing. Unless you have a drone with position hold, it's always going to drift. That's just reality. So a little bit of drift is fine. You just need to fly the drone. Use your fingers to fly the drone. That's like saying, I'm driving down the road, and I take my hands off the steering wheel, and the car drifts out of the lane. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with my alignment. It just means that the car isn't going to stay in the lane perfectly straight because there's just little random, bumps and so forth. Yeah, Blunty.
Two things. One is Patrick Delaney donated that question with $50 attached, so we just wanted to say shout out to that.
Thank you, Patrick Delaney. Very generous.
And then the other thing I would say is you mentioned calibrating your sticks. I just want to be sure, like once you do that calibration, you need to look in the Betaflight receiver tab and make sure you're seeing things properly come out. Like that's how 100%. You'll know the calibration worked and you're done with calibration. Your radio is all getting through correctly. And then you're looking at the receiver tab. So then it's like, oh, Betaflight is just, this is a Betaflight issue versus
in the receiver issue. In the receiver tab, you need to see the channels centering at 1500 or very close to it. And that will tell you that your calibration worked correctly. Also, here's one, Blunty, that I always forget about. Check your trims. Your trim switches could have gotten bumped, and one of your trim switches is all the way to the left. In which case, it doesn't matter that your stick. I had a guy who was like, I've calibrated my sticks like 5 times, and my drone still drifts. So I did the calibration because I assumed he just screwed up the calibration. I did it perfectly. The drone drifted. I was like, damn, it's pulling hard to the left. What's going on? And then I realized, actually, I have someone else who was there was like, did you check the trims? And I was like, no, yes. And sure enough, his trim was just bumped over. Yeah.
I would say I advise disabling trims.
Yes,
you can go
agree.
into the HDX settings and disable trims.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, Delta Vector in chat said, I'm surprised I never hear trim discussed coming from aviation. And that's because we're flying drones. So, you're trimming aviation because you have, the wind is changing how you're flying straight.
Physical control surfaces.
Right. But with drones, that's not the case. With quadcopters, that's not the case.
Anytime you have a flight controller, the flight controller is managing the trim for you, so to speak. So you always want your sticks to recenter at 1500. So the flight controller knows when you've centered the sticks. Okay. If you need to trim the accelerometer on a drone, you do that in the flight controller, not on the sticks. Okay. So what trim does is cause the controller to act like the stick is deflected. And that's not good. When you don't have a flight controller, when your stick movements are directly being mapped to servo positions, then the only way to trim is to trim the sticks and to manipulate the stick positions. But when you have a flight controller, the flight controller will be the thing that handles the trim, and your sticks should always be recentered and should never be trimmed out. Well, I should never say never. Like, I've been at a whoop race and in angle mode, and I wanted just a little more pitch forward on my trim, and rather than trim my accelerometer, I just bumped the trim switch. Like, you can do it, but in general, when working with a multi-rotor or any airplane that has a flight controller, you don't want to use trim at all. You want the flight controller to do the trimming. Okay. Let's see here. Let's take a $5 super chat from Dylan Patterson, who says, I have the Matrix 3-in-1 on my 04 65mm. For the life of me, I can't read the ESCs in the configurator. Tried different cables and PCs. Is my flight controller cooked? It's brand new. The Matrix 3-in-1, I'm going to guess that you're using the wrong configurator, maybe?
There's some quick questions. Are you seeing it pop up in the corner of the configurator? Like, can you connect to Betaflight on the board? These are questions that will be helpful.
Yeah. This is... So what ESC is on this? Come on, guys. Tell me what effing ESC this is. 12 amp continuous. What is it? BL? Is it 8-bit? Is it 32-bit? Stop jerking me around. Here we go. BlueJay. Okay. So that has BlueJay firmware on it. That means you want to go to esc-configurator.com. esc-configurator.com. Blunty, you're going to tell me that that's where he is, aren't you?
Yes, he says he's using ESC configurator and he can connect in Betaflight. Motors work. He just can't read the ESCs.
Damn, that sucks.
If the motors work, it means
one.
you have the battery plugged in, so you know that part. But just to confirm, you do have to have the battery plugged in to read your ESCs on most flight controllers. Some AIOs you don't have to, but
you want to have Betaflight closed in the background, although you couldn't connect if Betaflight was blocking the COM port.
Yeah, so the question is then, in ESC configurator, are you seeing the COM port pop up? Like if you go to do the selection, are you seeing the COM port in the list like you do in Betaflight? Is it the same number? And then what happens if you try to connect? Does it just not read? Does it give you an error? All those kind of things. And then it may be too much for us to troubleshoot here, but you can message me on Discord, it's Blunty, or you can email Bardwell, jb@joshuabardwell.com, and we can help you continue on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It sounds like you're doing everything right, unless there's something like small that we're overlooking. It pops up and connects, but it says failed to read. That's a weird one, man. Honestly, that's a weird one. You definitely have a battery plugged in, right? No battery plugged in would cause that.
Make sure your radio is not on.
Is there a situation where if your radio is turned on, the signal from the receiver messes up the UART and it can't read them?
Well, it will brick an ESC if you flash it while it's on. So I assume that in a similar way, there's a way that the radio can interfere with that connection.
It says battery plugged in, radio off. Damn. Okay, you have now exceeded the amount of troubleshooting we're capable of doing on a live stream. As far as I can tell, you're doing everything right. So that's good in the sense that, like, you could feel like smart that you did everything right, but bad in that we can't just quickly solve it for you. Reach out to me or Blunty, and we'll try to help you out offline. Let's get. We're a little late to get to the super chats. I blame the Island Liquor. I'm running on island time. Total Warrior 100. Thank you for. Oh, it's so good. The ginger and turmeric is so good. Wow. Thank you for 100 rupees. Thanks for the email reply on motor selection. I'm building a BM Aether 4XL 5-inch. Any suggestions on what motors to use and how to set it up? BM Aether 4XL. What is that? Is that the 3D printed frame? Oh, Lord almighty. Don't build a 3D printed 5-inch. Okay, fine. It's your money. What motors to use? I mean, here's what I would say. When this thing crashes, it's going to be a freaking yard sale. So don't buy expensive top-of-the-line motors and put them on this. This is an experiment. Buy something inexpensive like the Emax Eco 2 and like just see how it flies and how it handles. That's what I would say. 2207, 1850 kV, something like that for a 6S battery. How do you even attach a battery to this? Like, the minute I put a battery strap on this, it's going to just crack the fabric. The minute I put a 200-gram battery on this with a battery strap, if simply cinching down the battery strap doesn't break the 3D print, I guarantee you the minute I crash, the whole thing is going to be just a jumble of pieces. This is a really cool design. I don't want to... I feel bad because, like, this is a very cool design. The person who designed this is amazing. And I'm so proud of what they did. But for God's sake, print a 3-inch version, not a 5-inch version. Because the 5-inch, just the minute you touch the ground, it's just going to explode, right? Like, surely. Sure, that's a good print. It does look good. PHTCF. It does look good. Oh, I'm kind of tempted. I mean, it does. No, no. It's the kids who are wrong. All right. It's an interesting experiment. But put a cheap motor on it because this is an experiment. Jordan Howerman, thank you for $10. What are your thoughts on the new HDZero goggles 2? I like them. I bought a set. Yeah, so I spent whatever $600, $650 of my own money on a set. That's how much I like them. The number one reason I bought them is if I only flew HDZero, I wouldn't have bought them. Okay. My opinion is that they don't bring enough to the table compared to the V1 goggle. If you only fly HDZero, like they have some small improvements like sealed optics. There's some built like the knobs are higher quality. They're nicer knobs. They have notches on the knobs where you adjust the focus. So like it clicks into place, and like there's small things like that, but nothing that would make it worth selling your V1 goggles and buying V2s instead. The main reason I bought the V2s is because I often use my HDZeros as analog goggles. It has the best analog DVR of anything out there, and as a content creator, I like that. It has a great interface. It's just a good goggle to use as an analog goggle. And the V2s have built-in analog receiver, so you don't have to have the module hanging off the side. So that's exciting. So if you're buying HDZero goggles today, you would buy the V2. That's just what you would buy because they've replaced the V1. But if you own the V1, I don't think it's really worth, unless you fly a lot of analog, in which case, yeah, maybe it's worth it, depending on how much you feel, how much you value getting rid of the module hanging off the side. I need analog with a digital alternative. Well, is HDZero the digital system you want to use? Because HDZero is very different. Oh, why am I here? Why am I not on this screen? There we go. HDZero is very different than DJI and Walkstill, and the image quality, range, and penetration is more like analog. The latency is also more like analog. If you care a lot about latency, HDZero is the one to go for. But if you're thinking all digital systems are the same in terms of range, resolution, image quality, and penetration, that's not the case. And you should carefully research that before you decide that that's what you want. I think that for people who race, HDZero is a clear winner. And I think for casual freestyle pilots, HDZero can be good, but you start to feel that limitation the more you try and push through obstacles and to distances. Where do you get them for $650? I don't know what I paid for them. $700? What are they? Whatever they are in the U.S. store, that's what I paid for them.
They're $750.
$750. All right. Well, that's what I paid. Sorry, I couldn't remember.
Do you have any intention of doing any analog testing with them
Yes.
and making a video?
That's like the only reason I bought them, right? I hope. See, here's the interesting thing. The HDZero V2 goggles don't have a diversity receiver. They only use one antenna. And when I heard that, I was like, okay. And what they say is that Carl worked his magic. And Carl can work magic. That's a fact. He worked his magic, and it's just as good. Even without diversity. Even without, a sensor fusion, whatever, all that, signal fusion, and so forth. It's like, okay, well, we'll give it a try. I've seen some other people release tests that show pretty good results, although I'm still going to be interested to perform my own tests. It did surprise me, though, because the antenna that is used by the internal analog receiver is I believe it's the right top antenna, which shocked the heck out of me because that's almost always going to be an omni antenna. And I would think that you would use the front antenna, which is a patch antenna, so you get more range and penetration. Like if I had to pick between only omni and only patch, I probably would pick only patch most of the time because most of the time I'm flying in front of myself instead of flying all around myself. That's not always true, but it's often true for me. So not only do I only have one receiver, but Carl worked his magic. It's just as good. Okay, we'll stipulate that. But also I'm stuck with my Omni antenna unless I want to put a patch antenna on top of the goggles, which absolutely you can do. But a lot of people don't. Alec really, really wants to know the power input pin size and polarity for the HDZero Goggle 1. Really wants to know this. I don't know. How would I even know that, dude? I'm not even sure how I would know that. I mean, I think it's 5.1. That's like the standard one, right? The 2.1. I think it's 2.5. No. It's 2.5. And then a few goggles have 2.1 and it's super wiggly and doesn't make contact, right? It's the same one that everybody else uses, which I think is 2.5. Okay? All right. Well, I hope that was helpful. What's your opinion on the Caddx gimbal? Thank you for 1,000 rupees. How would you mount the Caddx gimbal on a 5 or 7 inch FPV quad? If I wanted to put a gimbal on a 5 or 7 inch FPV quad, I would get the Medlin drone. Medlin, Medlin drone gimbal. I would do the Medlin drone gimbal. It's specifically designed for FPV quads, has mounting options, and so on and so on and so on. It is only a single axis gimbal. It only goes up and down. But that still adds a lot of capability. That would be my choice. The minute you start thinking about mounting the Caddx gimbal on an FPV drone, I don't know how I would mount it. It would be a pain in the ass, and the damn thing would come off every time I crash. I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. I don't think the Caddx gimbal is made for mounting on like an FPV drone the way that we usually do. I'm sure you could get it done. It would require a lot of double-sided sticky tape and zip ties or 3D printing. But like when you say, how would you mount it? Like, I don't know. I would cuss a lot and I would try to figure it out. And whatever I did would be suboptimal. Any other option for DJI video systems? For gimbals with DJI video systems? Well, the Medlin system. I like the Medlin system. And the thing is, the Medlin system, all the stuff, like the 3D prints, you can just 3D print this yourself. In fact, you don't have to give Josh Medlin a single penny. You can buy your own servo, locally sourced in India. You can 3D print the parts. And, you know, you could make the Medlin kit for yourself, and it'll work with the DJI camera. So that's what I would recommend you actually do. Every time I've used a gimbal, if I use a gimbal on anything that crashes, it's a disaster. That's my experience. Not the Medlin gimbal. It's specifically designed for FPV drones. But a typical sort of 2-axis or 3-axis gimbal, it's always a disaster. Alex Brain, thank you for a £5 super chat. After a gnarly crash, I have a severed motor wire midway through, mainly for a laugh, as it can just solder the wire back together and heat wrap it. Yeah, totally. You can do that. You could totally do that. I assume you mean the wire coming out of the motor. You didn't actually damage the winding of the motor. If you damage the winding of the motor's cooked. You can 100% solder the wire back together and heat shrink it. You'll be good forever. It'll be ugly, but it'll be good forever. Mr. Bebo, thank you for a $10 super chat. Thank you for all your vids. I'm 65 and just starting in the hobby. I got a few crashes under my belt. I built a 5, a 7, and a 450 millimeter with your help. Can't fly them for shit, but I enjoy building them. Hey, you and me both, my friend. You and me both. Grant Lubbert, thank you for a $5 super chat. Do you have any recommendations for a non-action camera for O3 pilots who want onboard audio? There isn't a system anymore that does onboard audio. An FPV system. Period. Analog is your option. If you want to record onboard audio, you need a separate high-definition camera. Runcam Thumb will do it. Insta360 Go is a good choice. They don't weigh very much. If you just care about the audio, you can just record with the camera and then sync it in your video editing program. You can sync the audio to your O3, or you could use that camera's audio or video, whichever you prefer. You can buy standalone audio recorders. I think that's probably not the way to go. I think probably you get a small action camera like the Runcam Thumb, the Insta360 Go, and put it on the drone. That's what I would do. But there isn't an FPV system. Now, you said non-action camera, and I just gave you 2 like action cameras. Yeah. I don't know what else to tell you.
Cat is asking, there's no way to like make Betaflight handle a microphone in any way, right? You can't like run it to a UART or run it through like some kind of serial or something, right?
None of the above. Sorry. I mean, somewhere out there is a tiny audio recorder, right, that you could wire to a microphone, or just a tiny audio recorder that you could wire to 5-volt power and put it on your drone. Like if I just search for SD card tiny audio recorder right now. Boom. Right? There you go. There's the tiny audio recorder. You could probably put that on your drone. I don't know how well it would work though.
I'm gonna say you're gonna want wind protection, and you're gonna want something with 32-bit float, so you're not having it clipped the whole time.
32-bit float is a good idea, because then you won't clip. That's smart. Smallest 32-bit float audio recorder. Instamic Pro Plus C review. Okay, that's the one, right, Blunty? You take this and you put a windsock on it, like a Dead Cat style windsock. And then that plus 32-bit float is a win.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, 32-bit float means that you're recording like data stream. So you get, no matter what, you get the audio as high as the peak wants to go. Whereas normally when you record audio, when you peak out, you clip and then you stop getting information, or you get clipping, which is the whole waveform.
This would be so easy to put on a drone. And what you would do is you would buy a lavalier microphone, windsock, or something like that. You would buy one of these little things. Like you'd have to do some research to find the one that fits over this thing, wind muff. But you find a little wind muff for this, stick it in the wind muff, and strap it on your drone somehow. This thing looks like it would be absolutely bananas for recording audio. And it's got 32-bit float, so it doesn't clip. That's beautiful.
Sorry. Yeah, and then just clap sync it to your video, or whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Just clap, sync it, good to go. It won't transmit. If you want to transmit the audio back to yourself, you're just out of luck. So.
We've fallen for this trick before, though, when a watchmaker...
What? Oh, sorry, I got distracted by watches.
A lot of chat wants us to make sure we mention the DJI Mic 2 is also a good option for this. It's just a lot more expensive than the other options will be, but it is a great option for a 32-bit float small microphone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usable in a lot of other places too. All right. Prem Solanki, thank you for £2. What problem are people having with the Pro 32 DP, Blunty? You see that one?
Yeah, there's a super chat referring.
Okay, great. Oh, yeah, I know the answer to that. I'm using the O4 Pro, but I'm seeing warning link quality. Link quality warning is referring to your control link, not your video link. So what control link are you using? We don't know.
Also, that is set in the OSD tab, right? You can set a link quality warning threshold, so make sure that's set for like a place you would want it.
Yeah. Yeah. But you shouldn't see link quality warning. The default is like okay, right? It's like 70% or 80% or something. I don't know. Problem Prone says, I have the GX12 and the Radiomaster Gemini X receiver in my GEP-RC Mark V. I'm getting almost no range. The GX12 is set to Gemini X in the settings. So what I would do is make sure your your packet rate is set to 50 hertz, the lowest 50 hertz, and make sure your power is set to like a high power. You could set it to, you know, up to 1 watt. And then we would do the bench test, which I always say this a lot on the live stream, but you know, it's the right answer. We would do the bench test. So search for Express LRS bench test. And what you do is you put the drone on the table, you put the controller on the table, you set the controller to 10 milliwatts or 25 milliwatts, and you look at the dBm received by the receiver. And that tells you if your hardware is broken, like a broken antenna or something like that. That's always the first thing you should do when you have unexpectedly short range, is run this test. Okay? So search for Express LRS bench test, run that test, and see if you have a damaged antenna or damaged hardware of some kind. Harry Critchfield, thank you for 10 pounds. I have a TBS 32 Pro HV and smart audio is not working. Yep, so here's what you need to do. This is a known issue with Betaflight 452, I believe. So you have a couple options. Doesn't matter. The board doesn't matter. You can either flash back to 451 or 450 and it'll fix it. You don't have to do that, but you could. Or in 452, it's a define. Oh my God. We've covered this on the live stream too, plenty. Have we done a live stream clip about this yet? Somebody in the chat, help me. Yeah, here we go. This is it. Found it. So what you need to do, non-compliant _ smart audio. That's what it is. Non-compliant smart audio. So what you do is you go into Betaflight, and in the flashing tab, here where it says custom defines, you put non-compliant _ smart audio. You download that and you flash Betaflight again. Save your CLI dump, flash Betaflight, reload your CLI dump. It'll work. That's the fix. All right. Prem Solanki says, I'm using the DJI RC controller too, and I'm still seeing the link quality warning. The DJI controller doesn't report link quality to the flight controller. So I think you should just disable that warning and look in your goggles. The DJI goggles have an RSSI indicator, a signal strength indicator for the controller and the video link. But here's the thing. With the DJI RC controller, the video link is the control link. So as long as you have video, you also have control. So you don't need to pay attention to the link quality of the control link. You just need to pay attention to the video link. So I would go into the Betaflight. If I'm understanding your situation correctly, I would go into Betaflight. And I would go to the OSD tab. And in the OSD tab, I would disable the link quality warning. In fact, this flight controller has already had that done. So let me move this over so you can see a little better. Disable the link quality warning here in the OSD tab. If you're using the DJI RC controller, you do not need the link quality warning at all. It doesn't have any. It's not working. The flight controller doesn't know what your link quality is. Alex, thank you for a $10 super chat. Hopefully that adapter for the power bank is what you need. Will get you the answer that you need. Thank you, Harry Critchfield, for a 10-pound donation. Critchfield. You just saved me buying a whole new VTX. Thank you, sir. Yeah, my pleasure, Harry. Very, very, very. Thank you for your generous donation. The RC Controller 2 does not use the goggles for the control link. Frank Nicholas, I disagree. I mean, I could be wrong. You could be right. I believe that the V1 controller bound to the air unit. And what makes me think this is that when you bind the RC2 with the goggles 2, you bind them to the goggles, not the air unit. Whereas the V1 controller, you bound to the air unit. So I believe that tells us that the control link is going through the goggle. If you can convince me I'm wrong, then I will revise that information in my brain. Oh. Right. One IFPV, that's a great question. One IFPV has a discrepancy between what they see in the HDZero monitor versus the HDZero goggles. I have seen this problem before when the firmware on the video transmitter or the display unit was out of date. So I would update the firmware. I don't know which one is causing the problem. Update the firmware on the VTX, update the firmware on your goggles, update the firmware on the monitor. I mean, I guess since the monitor is the odd one out, maybe the monitor is the one that needs to be updated. But the monitor might have newer firmware, and the other two may need to come up to match it. But that is what I think. I would probably do in your situation. Oh, there we go. Aaron Ratana says, my iFlight backpack rain cover has holes and iFlight doesn't sell spare parts. What would you recommend? Yeah. So here's another thing that I like about the PGY Tech backpack. Not to keep harping on it, but I do like it a lot. So if I go to the PGY Tech makes camera bags. They make a lot of things, but they make camera bags among other things. I can buy spare parts for my PGY Tech backpack. Like here, PGY Tech backpack rain cover 25 liters. Will this work for your iFlight bag? I have no idea. Maybe it will. I mean, I would probably buy a rain cover from a different backpack, and then I would cuss at iFlight. You want spare waist strap? Okay. And look at this. I can buy spare partitions. Right? Very cool. Spare zipper pulls. I can buy spare parts for this bag because they are an established camera backpack bag company. They're not just an FPV company that just whipped off an FPV bag. And I love it. Big fan. I don't know if a 25-liter cover will be enough for your iFlight bag. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but that's a thing you could do. But iFlight, they don't sell. You want additional dividers for your iFlight bag? I don't think they sell them. $129 from AliExpress. That's mighty impressive. That's a great price. Holy crap.
It's worth mentioning, by the way, right now, iFlight does not ship to the US directly.
Yeah, also, iFlight doesn't ship to the US, so that's really just out. Yeah, good point. No, I don't think iFlight sells spare parts for this bag. You want additional dividers? Too bad. You want a new rain cover? Too bad. You lose one of these buckles and you want a spare? Like, maybe if you ask customer support nicely, they'd send it to you. But, yeah. So look at it. Here's how they imagine that bathtub thing will be used. And it just doesn't make any damn sense to me. Like, we're gonna have, what is this? Is this a drone? What even is it? I don't know. Is it a gimbal? It's just gonna get stuck in here on top of the. I guess if you say so. Like, why would you do it that way? Why would you not just give me another shelf, right? What is the benefit of this? I really have no. You're losing depth. Do you see how much less depth you have here? So if I just had dividers, I would have the full depth of the bag. But because I've got this bathtub thing, I'm wasting I'm wasting a huge amount of volume of the bag. It just seems like such a stupid decision. It makes no sense to me. And like, I'm just waiting for someone to show me the light and be like, here's why it's a great idea. But I just don't see it.
Can you just take it out?
Yeah, I can. You can.
Like, what's wrong with it? I guess I'm confused about why it's bad.
Because if you take it out, the dividers, you don't have dividers that are long enough to go all the way across. The dividers, you would need more of the big shelf dividers.
Isn't the sides of it the same as just having dividers?
Yeah, but the dividers aren't, they're not long enough.
Right. I just mean, like, couldn't you store stuff on the outside of the thing and the inside of the thing, and then it's sort of like having dividers?
No, because it has Velcro on it. It has Velcro, so it sticks to the sides of the bag. So you could put stuff on top of the bathtub, if you will.
Oh, you can't put stuff on the sides of the bathtub, but it doesn't fill the space. That's the problem.
Correct. It has Velcro, and it sticks to the sides of the bag, so it sticks in place. You can't put anything on the side of it. It's kind of just extra padding and wasted space.
So it should be long enough to stretch to one side and the other, and then the ends could be used as space if you didn't Velcro to them or something, right? Like, like you could have extra space in there that they're not using. That's the problem.
I don't really think you can. Yeah, that's my point. If they took that bathtub out, you would gain. Well, I don't know. I'm eyeballing 5% more width because of the thickness of the walls of the bathtub. And the bathtub is not as deep as the full bag. So, like, if I have a bag and the bag is this deep, and I put my goggles in, like, longwise, like facing down, right? And the bag is just deep enough that I can drop my goggles in there, and then they just drop right into a little hole, right? Great. But then with this bathtub thing, it's not deep enough. They stick out the top. So what do? It's like it's stupid. It's a stupid use of space on the inside of the bag. Anyway, yeah. The more I talk about it, the more annoyed I am. So iFlight won't ship here, but like apparently I could buy this from AliExpress for $129 instead of $189. That's kind of silly. Shipping $100. Are you joking? Never mind. Oh, never mind. Cancel that. Oh my God. Okay, I will not be buying this one. Something that's wacky. Oh, what a world. Remember when we could just buy things off of Banggood and they came quickly and they were cheap? And oh, what a world. I just got a drone with Caddx Vista. Do I update it through DJI? Yes, use DJI Assistant. For the Caddx Vista, you want DJI Assistant FPV Drone Edition. If you have the G2, you're going to download DJI Assistant FPV Drone Edition. You're going to try to update the firmware on the Vista. If it updates, great. If it doesn't update, download DJI Assistant Consumer Drones Edition. It's a separate program. They're identical, but they're different. They support different hardware. If you try to update the firmware with the FPV Drone Edition of DJI Assistant and it doesn't work, just go to the Consumer Drones one. But basically, once you've finished updating the firmware, you will use the Consumer Drones edition of the software forever. But if the Vista comes with very old firmware on it, it will only talk to the FPV Drone edition of the DJI Assistant, and you need to update it and then switch over and update it again. Are the HDZero box goggles a good choice for a pilot with astigmatism, asks 8-Bit. I mean, the assumption would be if you have astigmatism, then you probably need custom lenses. And I don't know if the HDZero box goggles support custom lenses, but because they're box goggles, you could probably fit some kind of lens on the inside. You know, and that might be what I would do. It used to be that FPV goggles pretty much all supported custom diopter inserts, but these days, more and more, they just have built-in focus adjustment, and those of us who have astigmatism are just out of luck. I don't know if the box goggles are going to be the best choice. It just depends on their support for diopters. What I would want to do is find an analog goggle that definitely had support for custom diopters and then order custom diopters But I'm not sure what that's going to be these days.
Do they not fit glasses behind them?
If they're small glasses, maybe.
I know some people like use like Delta Vector chats to see where's the N3 with the glasses.
Yeah. So great. Great. Fantastic. I'm so happy. I assumed this existed, but I wasn't sure. Now I'm sure. HDZero sells a custom lens for the Box Pro. And there you go. You give them your eyeglass prescription, they make you a custom lens. That's what you should do. If you're flying analog, buy the Box Pro, buy the custom lens for only $30 too. It's a very reasonable price. That's what you need to do. External gaming. I'm sorry, 8-bit. Any tips for getting better looking video out of the DJI O4 Pro, asks Lefmiz. I don't really know if there's anything else I can do, but I see plenty of people getting much better results than I'm getting. Unfortunately, like I would need to see your video and then make an assessment of what's wrong with it. The first question I have is, are you using the onboard recording or are you using the DVR? If you're using the DVR, and pardon me if this is obvious, but sometimes you point out the obvious and the other person's like, oh, duh, I didn't know that. If you're using the DVR, then as you fly further away from yourself, signal gets weaker and the image gets worse. But the onboard recording is always perfect. So maybe just use the onboard recording instead of the DVR. And then as far as getting better image quality, like I would want to see your video and then talk to you about what you didn't like about it. Right? Or show me your video and show me an example of a video that looks better and tell me what you like about the other video versus yours, right? I don't know. Do you have a link to your video, Leftmaze? You're in the Discord because you're a patron. Can you put a link to one of your videos, like a YouTube video? He's uploading right now. All right, get back to me on that. We got a request for this backpack. What do you think of this backpack? Asks someone in the Discord. I haven't seen this backpack before. I'll give you my thoughts just off the cuff right now. Thought number one, it's at the high end of the price range for these backpacks. Around $200 is middle of the road. Closer to $300 is asking a lot. So it's got to be way better than average. Now maybe it is. It's big. Up to 16-inch laptop. It's a thick boy. I don't care about all this picture of all the equipment you can put in it. I don't care. I'm looking at how it opens up. It opens from the back, but the computer compartment is on the front. Okay. It looks like the dividers are optimized for... See, I already hate it. I'll tell you what. Let me see if I can find a better picture. Yep, you lost me. Do you see that the layout of this bag is optimized for camera lenses? We have lots of these big, long dividers, right? Whereas FPV bags are going to have some big, long dividers, but often have smaller pockets where you're putting stuff in. This is a camera bag, and Axis Flying went to the manufacturer of a camera bag and said, hey, can we sell this as our bag? But nobody thought to re-engineer it for FPV pilots. So we've got these little blue dividers here, and that's the only divider you have that isn't like the whole width of the freaking bag, because they're thinking about camera lenses. This is immediately not what an FPV pilot would actually want if we designed this from scratch. So and it's $279, which is near the top of the price range. So I'm annoyed. We got a side pouch we can take out. We can take out what? I can take out my DSLR that I don't have because I'm an FPV pilot. Tenba Axis V2. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Back up. I saw Axis and I thought this was made by Axis Flying. This is not an FPV bag. This is a camera bag. Okay, well then it makes sense that it's not. Yeah. No, I wouldn't buy this, especially at that price. That's what it's not. Don't buy a camera bag. You're gonna, yeah, no. Alex Brain says damage to the wires is worse than I thought. Need 2 motors after all. Oh well. 2207 5-inch freestyle. Yeah. I mean, we can go to the 5-inch freestyle page on my website, which has been updated recently. And I've got a motor section there, and those recommendations are, I stand by them. I mean, there are lots of other great motors out there. These are just a few that I thought were worth putting on my website. Yeah, fpvknowitall.com. Thank you for a $30.99. Crikey. Australian dollars? Well, this deserves a drink. Take your hand off my penis. Can't a man enjoy a succulent Chinese lunch? I see you know your karate well, sir. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? And far be it from me to imply that my Australian accent is in any way good. But I feel like my accent got better when I started quoting the succulent Chinese dinner guy. This is democracy manifest. I believe he is Australian, isn't he? Oh boy, if it turns out he's not Australian and I've confused an Australian with a Kiwi, oh, I'm going to be in big trouble. Is the output power of the digital goggles related to the range? I have walk snail and am wondering if I boost the uplink antenna, it will help with the range. Take your hand off my uplink. Yeah, you're right. That's British. I'm sorry. We need to go find the Democracy Manifest guy. It's He's Australian. Does he sound British? Does he sound English?
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
American Express investigate.
No, it's clearly Australian. I just am not able to differentiate correctly. Let's get to this guy's question. Can we stop screwing around? Is the output power of the digital goggles related to the range? Yes. That's the primary thing the output power does, is affect the range. I have walk snail. I'm wondering if I boost the uplink antenna, will it help with the range? Yes, it will. Struggling at 3 to 4 kilometers. Yep. Put higher gain antennas on the goggles and use a higher output power. That is the primary way to increase range.
Yeah, but if he doesn't boost the VTX power and only boosts the goggles power,
how would you even do that?
Well, he's saying uplink.
Yeah, but he has walk snail. How would you? There's just one output power setting. It affects the goggle and the VTX. Are you thinking he's like going to buy an amplifier?
Yes, correct. I think that's what he's saying.
Oh,
but maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
Well, he says if I boost the uplink antenna, but then he says is the output power related?
If he does a high gain antenna, it will affect both transmit and receive, so you're good to go there. If you were thinking of getting a signal amplifier and putting it on the goggles, then that wouldn't work. Yeah.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
American Express investigator.
Oh,
Sorry, Blunty.
sorry, I can't hear the audio. I was just gonna say all 4 antennas are not transmit. So you want to use specifically
right is the transmit.
The upper right. Yeah.
Look, I'm under what?
I'm under what? I'm under what?
Gentlemen,
this is Democracy Manifest.
What is the charge? Eating
What?
a meal?
Eating a meal?
A succulent Chinese
Succulent Chinese meal?
meal? Democracy manifest.
Democracy manifest.
And he didn't appreciate the
Fashed. He's got a little bit of Sean Connery in there.
way he was handled.
See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis!
I see you know your karate well. Jiu-jitsu, whatever he says. All right. Paul Bostrom, thank you for a $10 super chat. Maybe too in-depth of a question for the stream, but how do I fix failure, no response from flight controller on attempting to flash ESC in Kiss GUI? Oh, I'm sorry. I just have to say at this point that I'm no help with Kiss questions. I haven't touched a Kiss flight controller in years. And I just, I'm not even going to pretend at this point. Good luck. Thank you for your super chat. If I could refund it, I would, but it's not actually possible to refund super chats. I'm not kidding. YouTube doesn't make it possible. So, no response from flight controller. Like, do you have your drivers installed? Do you have, I don't know. They do all their own things, and I don't know a damn thing about it because I just live in my own little beta flight world. And you got me. All these years, I've had an axe to grind against Kiss. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I don't know the answer. I'm just gonna admit it. Thank you for a $10 super chat. Horizon G-Tag. I'm getting my first FPV drone, controller 3, goggles N3, Nazgul DC5 Eco M4. No clue how to set it up. Oh no! You spent so much money. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Okay. I'm sorry. When that shit comes in the mail, you put it in a corner, you take out the RC controller and nothing else. You forget that exists. Trust me. I am doing you a favor. This is not what you want to hear. You want to go fly your new drone. Don't do it. It is a mistake. You will lose it. You will crash it. You will get 5 minutes of flying, and then you'll be like, I don't know what happened. It just got away from me. You don't know how to fly the thing. You think it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to instantly be good at it, and you will waste $500 of your own money. Okay? Okay. Now, what should you do? You should take that RC controller. You should go get a simulator. Let's go to Steam. Ooh. I feel a game of getting over it coming soon. Go ahead, Blunty.
I will just say, he says he's been training in the sim for 3 months.
Okay, well, I was just getting ahead of Steam, though, Blunty. You should train in the simulator for 3 months. Okay, now that you know how to fly, because you've been training in the simulator, what do you do? There's a lot you got to do. So the first thing, I mean, did it all come as a kit from iFlight? Is it all pre-bound and ready to go? Like, or do you have to bind it? Did you buy it separate? I think you bought it separate. You got to bind the. So here's what you have to do. I'm going to tell you the steps at the very least. You got to bind the FPV goggles to the drone. You got to bind the RC controller to the goggles. At that point, you got to figure out which buttons on the controller do what on the drone. Like, which is the arm button, which is the angle mode button, which is the turtle mode button. You're going to do that in the Betaflight modes tab. Basically, you're going to plug into Betaflight. Oh, did you install Betaflight on your laptop? on your computer. Yeah. You're going to go to the Betaflight Modes tab. You're going to plug in the drone. Don't put the props on. Maybe just plug in USB. The receiver, it's an air unit, so you have to plug in battery. Take the props off the drone, or don't put the props on the drone. Plug in a battery. Turn on the goggles. Turn on the RC controller. Plug in USB into the flight controller, and go into Betaflight, and look at the Modes tab, and then start wiggling the switches, and see which one is the arm mode and which one is the angle mode, and so on. You may want to customize those modes for yourself. Honestly, it's going to be a real pain in the butt to figure out all the steps, because no one's in your exact situation. Like if you said, I just built a drone and I need to know how to set it up, I have a video for that. I don't have a video for your exact situation. You might be justified spending another $50 to do a one-on-one call with Blunty. So Blunty will jump on a Discord call with you. It's $50 for an hour. I'm sure he can get you going in under an hour. And he'll just say, okay, take everything out of the box. Get it bound, bind it. Here, push this button, do this, bop, 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 bop. At the end of an hour, you'll be ready to go. Blunty, am I misrepresenting your, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I have a lot of faith.
No, that's totally fine. The main thing, I'll just say, the main thing you said was that there's no video exactly for you. There's a lot of videos that are kind of for you, right? That are going to teach you, like, how do I bind a DJI Goggles 3 with my N3 and with my O4 Air unit? How do I update them, right? One of them might go, like, here's how to, like, what a bind and fly drone looks like when you plug it in, but it won't be your exact bind and fly drone, right? So, like, yeah, you can go through slowly and sort of learn the things like that. You can also hop on JB's Discord. If you sign up for JB's Patreon, you can get in his Discord. There's me and a bunch of other people who will help you walk through those steps over text. If you DM me on Discord, it's Blunty. I can help you over text, or we can set up a phone call that's paid for $50 an hour. The other thing I just want to say real quick, in case you don't use my help or you figure this out on your own, a lot of people are asking AI things these days, or Googling and looking at the Google AI result. Please do not flash your drone's firmware. Please do not flash your drone's ESCs. Please do not. The only thing you want to flash, you want to update the DJI gear and the DJI configurator and the DJI assistant, and that's it.
Yeah, the problem is, and like if you get on the Discord server, or if you like email me, I'll go back and forth with you. The people in the Discord server will 100% go back and forth with you, but it's going to be this long, tedious process, because like you don't know where to start. Like, so like Blunty, you mentioned the first thing you're going to have to do is probably activate the goggles, which I didn't even think of telling him to do that. I just said bind the goggles. Oops. You got to download DJI. Well, how do you activate the goggles? Well, you got to download DJI Assistant. Except it's DJI Assistant Consumer Drones Edition, not FPV Drone Edition. Oh, okay. So then you activate the goggles, you update the firmware on the goggles, you update the firmware on the O4, you update the firmware on the RC controller, you activate all that stuff. Then you got to bind them. Oh, okay. So then you bind them, and yada, 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 yada. And you could go through all of that on the Discord server, and it'll be this slow, tedious process where people will, oh, wait, no, you got to back up and do this other step. Oh, I didn't realize you hadn't installed Betaflight yet. And that's why, here's the thing. You already spent a shitload of money. You spent a shitload of money on this stuff, right? And so, like, it's not like you don't, like, maybe you just, like, spend $50 and have Blunty square you away. I'm just saying. I don't know. Anyway,
Okay, I'm gonna just ask you what people in chat have implied, and I'm gonna guess we're gonna see in any comments when that's on YouTube, and it is, why don't you just make a video that explains this stuff, right? Like, because I have
videos that explain all of this.
Yes.
Like for example, hang on. I'm just trying to get you to a flying drone as fast as possible, right? If you want to do it the slow way, 100%. So, like, for example, if I were to point you to a video, it would be this one. Sub 250 gram FPV drone build. FPV, WTF, DJI 03. DJI O4 Lite install and setup, okay? And if we look at the chapter titles for this video, 100% you could go do this. Activate... So hang on. There we go. install the O4 on the flight control stack. Okay, so I would say, hey, disclaimer, this video is for if you're building your own drone, so you're going to ignore some of that because you bought a pre-built drone, okay? But the information in here still applies. Okay, so activate DJI and update firmware. Yep. Going to walk you through downloading and installing DJI Companion. Hello. There we go. DJI Assistant. Activate, update firmware. Great, got it. Bind the VTX to the goggles. There you go. Ham unlock. There you go. Install Betaflight Configurator. There you go. Oh, wait a second. Nope, you don't need to do this
and the
stuff.
simplest way to set up.
You don't need to do this stuff. Well, you might want to lay out the OSD elements, actually. I take it back, because you might not like iFlight's default OSD layout. Okay, you might do that. So there's a lot of like, yes, do this. No, ignore that. Skip this section. Ah, that's the O4 Lite. You have the O4 Pro, so it's a little bit different, but you can figure it out. I have videos. I can't have videos for every single piece of... wait. You have the N3 and I have the G3. I'll have to make another video now. There were like... It's just too many permutations. So either you get one video that shows you how to do it as best I can, and if you don't have that exact hardware, you got to kind of adapt and figure it out, which is fine. But the dude just dropped $1,500 on equipment. And so I have the sense that he has enough money to just be like, I don't want to fuck around with this stuff. Can somebody just please tell me what to do? And that's when you spend $50 on getting Blondie to just get on a video call with you. So I totally have videos for this. It's just the information's all over the place because there's so much different hardware. Is that what do you think? What do you think, Blunty? Does that address the... Sorry, that was me. Does that address the chat's
yeah, that was great.
question? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Anyway. Yeah. Can you explain your TikToks? What are you talking about? Can I explain my TikToks? What's to explain? What's to explain? Like, what do you want to know? It's just, you know, I'm just very, very good at these TikTok games. Hang on, no, I gotta mute this. I'm just very good at these TikTok games. I'm so good at them. Right? Boom. Boom. You win, right? Like, do you think this is hard? This isn't hard. I got this. Huh? Yeah. Boom. Look how good I am. And then, yeah, F you. You think you're hard? Okay. What's to explain? I don't see anything to explain. Tree Seeker. What in the hell is this? Is this a smartwatch? It must be. What watch is this, Tree Seeker? I'm waiting for Tree Seeker to tell us which watch it is. Heart rate, humidity, pressure. There's a lot of sensors in that watch, dude. A Mazfit Trex 3. I can't wear a smartwatch, though. I don't want to wear a smartwatch. I like analog watches better. T-Rex 3. It's a fancy freaking watch, I'll tell you what. It's a big-ass watch. $200 is pretty cheap for a smartwatch. Is it like it's an outdoor smartwatch for outdoor and fitness athletes? Well, I'm out. Dual band GP, $200 for $200. That's not actually that much money. Huh? That's fancy, man. That's fancy. I'll tell you what. I don't want a smartwatch because I'm already addicted to my phone enough. That's part of the problem. That's a hell of a price, though. Yeah. Rugged smartwatch. Garmin Vivo Smart. You know what? You know what, Blunty? We have daily dog pictures and daily cat pictures. We also have daily car pictures. I think we need to start a watch channel on the Discord server. I think so. Because you're not a patron friend. Yeah. I want to see people's watch pictures. Yeah. What's your watch of the day? Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah. I want to do that. Today, I have on, you may recognize this if you watch my stream. This is a Seiko mod that I made, just to like have some fun building a watch. And I recently swapped out the dial because I found the other dial, which was a black dial. I found the black dial in a black case, and it had these like kind of rose gold hands. I found it really hard to read. So I swapped it for a white dial. And I swapped in white hands on the subdials since they're black subdials, and I find it a lot easier to read. So I did that just last night, and I thought I would wear it on the stream today. That's a Seiko VK63 movement, which I hate. I didn't know at the time how much I hate VK63 movements, but now I do. And I will never buy another VK63 movement again. And it's on this is just like I bought this from Straps Co. The band is just like from Straps Co. I normally don't like a metal band, a metal bracelet, but I thought for this watch, a black metal bracelet made a lot of sense. Yeah. There you go. I feel like the case is a little bit like I feel like there's something up with the crystal. The crystal seems to have a lot of reflections. It might be a cheap crystal, but that's what I'm wearing today. Yeah, I like it. Why do I hate the VK63 movement? Okay. I think I've ranted about this before. The problem with the VK63 movement is that this subdial is a 24-hour subdial. It just tells you what basically this. I already know what time of day it is. So a 24-hour subdial that tracks the time on the main dial is useless. It's not giving me any additional information except whether it's AM or PM, and I usually know that information. So it's a wasted subdial. The only reason that it's there is because they want the VK63 to kind of look like a Speedmaster. And that's my opinion. And so they have this completely wasted subdial, and it just bothers my engineering sensibilities that there is I think one of the beautiful things that I like about watches is that it's this very refined machine, right? Like at the end of the day, the watch, you don't need a watch to tell time, right? I mean, like you could just, there's lots of ways to tell time, but like it's this ultra refined machine that works exactly how you want it to work, right? So like if there's a subdial on there and it's not giving me any useful information, then it's like just sort of like wasted and it offends my sensibilities. Yeah, I don't know. So VK63 can go die in a fire. It's a shame because it's a very, very popular movement among this tri-compact style of watch, where you've got a chronograph, you've got a built-in chronograph, so like you can time things, and then this is your seconds hand. Hello, this is your seconds, just your normal time seconds. Why will it not focus on the watch? I don't know. And then here is your minutes accumulator. It's a 60-minute accumulator for the chronograph. So like on a lot of watches, this will be a 12-hour accumulator for the chronograph, right? And so then you'll have a 12-hour chronograph. This is only a 60-minute chronograph, which, okay, fine. Like, I don't know what I'm going to need to time that's longer than 60 minutes. I'd always pull my phone out. But I would rather have a 12. So like the VK67 movement, that's that watch that you saw me lusting after. That's why I lust after it, because it says VK67 movement. Yeah, the VK67 has a 12. I don't know if you can see. It has seconds. I believe this top subdial is the seconds. And then we've got 60-minute accumulator for the chronograph and a 12-hour accumulator for the chronograph. So it's a 12-hour chronograph. And so all of these subdials are doing something. They're increasing the functionality of the watch. None of them are redundant. And that's, I like that. That appeals to me. That's why I like this watch so much. Well, there's lots of other watches out there that are like that. Yeah. Anyway. Super Deluxe says, a watch is an ultra-refined machine designed to get your hand caught in bigger, faster, more refined machines. Yeah. Yeah. If you guys don't know, you check out cheap Chinese watches are getting shockingly good. This is just one website, watchdives.com. And like, these are all like homages to a lot of them are homages to more expensive watches. They're all using these, sort of commodity Japanese movements, usually by Seiko, but not always. And so the movements are like nothing fancy. It's not going to last you, 30 years. It's not going to keep time within 2 seconds a day. It might be like 15 seconds a day. If it's a quartz movement, it'll probably keep time 15 seconds a month. But for mechanical watches, they're not like spectacular movements. But for, $100 to $300, you can get a fairly nice watch, unless you just care about the name, right? But again, VK63 can die in a fire because that subdial is a complete waste. I don't care how nice this watch looks. VK63 can die in a fire. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, you can find some nice watches on there. Anyway. All right, that's enough. That's this live stream's little watch musing. Why don't you show up to any drone races? I go to drone races every now and then. Most of the time I don't show up to drone races because I'm traveling when drone races happen. I travel more than I used to. All the times when I'm not doing a live stream, it's usually because I'm on the road. But I get to like 2 or 3 races a year, I would say. I do not have any fancy watches. My highest end watch is like a $200 Tissot. Actually, it was $200 when I bought it. It's now like $400 or $500 because everything is more expensive. But no, I don't have any luxury watches at all. Blunty, can you add me on Disc? Thank you for a $2 super chat. I have no idea what that means. What does that mean, Blunty? Do you have any idea?
Discord. We did it already.
Discord. Oh, yeah. Okay. Great. BadRx, thank you for a $5 super chat. The Jin F25 SP from Quadmola. What motor size would you recommend for a heavy digital 2.5-inch freestyle quad? Is there a scientific way to find it? No, not really. There's not a formula to give you the motor size. What I think you should do is you should, look at builds other people are doing. So like I would go to Rotor Builds, for example. Rotor Builds is a website that has build logs. And I would go to builds, search builds, 2.5-inch. Let's try that. Well, that's not great. The best 2.5-inch freestyle quad in the world, but it's from 2018, so that's not really good. Let's filter. Let's do past year. That's more like it. 5-inch Dead Cat Neo. Caillou Mini. There we go. Caillou Mini 2.5-inch. That's a good one. I recognize that name. So we're going to just look at builds other people have done and kind of, steal their homework. Right? Motors for the Caillou Mini 2.5-inch. Hello? Motors? Frame? propellers, camera, transmitter, batteries. Where are the motors? 1103s, 1202.5s.
That says 1404 for the Division 2.5.
Yeah. That's much bigger than than this Cinnamini. I guess that must be much lighter. Yeah, so the weight is going to definitely come into play. The Jin F25. The other thing we can do is we can search for that exact build and try to find people who've built it out. Yeah, so like this Cinnamini 2.5 looks like a tiny lightweight one. It's going to use much smaller motors. I bet that's it. In the smaller size classes, there's going to be a lot more variance in the weight. Like you can build a 2.5 very light. You can build it a little heavier depending on the frame you go with. 1404, Blunty, is what we're hearing?
Yeah, 1404, 4600 kV. Seems to be the option.
Here we got somebody recommending 1604. 2850 kV? Is it 4S? 6S?
That's got to be 6S.
I wouldn't do
6S.
I wouldn't do 6S on a 2.5 inch. No way. So we're looking at what kV? Around 4,000 kV? 4,500 kV?
Yeah, 4600. It looks like a couple different builds here.
Okay. Yeah. And then like a 14 millimeter to 16 millimeter motor, depending. Here we go. 1404, 4,500 kV axis motors. Yeah, on 4S. That's probably what I would do. If you're going to go chunky and heavy, then, well, you shouldn't. But if you intend to go heavy, you might go slightly larger motors. Dennis Smith wants to know, can the gyro sensitivity on a new Bind and Fly Mark V cause takeoff after a perfect arm to make it flip back to the right? No. The props are wrong. And it's not the gyro sensitivity.
Yeah, I responded in chat, and he said, I've checked it 20 times, but you got to keep checking.
That's the only thing you could really be, because it's a Bind and Fly, so the motor direction is probably correct. You must have put the props on wrong. The chat thinks that 1604 is wasted on a 2.5 inch. But even like a super heavy one? I don't know. You're right. That's significantly bigger than a 1404. Thank you for $5 from Roto Compass. Thanks for your helpful advice and valued contribution to the community. Thank you so much. Do you have a ham radio license? Yes. Is there a benefit of getting one for FPV? I mean, technically, you are more legal than you would be if you didn't have one, but no one's ever going to care. I don't think anyone's ever going to care.
Yeah, we should just say, if you fly analog, you're supposed to have one. But everything else is FCC.
No, come on. Like,
just letting you know.
The DJI, are all the DJI channels? I know with the V2, not all the channels were Part 15. Is that true for the 03 and the 04? All the channels Part 15?
I have no idea. I would never have thought that's not the case.
Yeah. On the V2,
why would they ship? They ship like that, though. You don't have to unlock the channels when you buy them in the U.S.
I know. It's stupid.
I don't think you can ship here's what I'll say. I don't think you can ship a device with channels enabled that allows you to break FCC Part 15 that you filed for, right? Isn't that the whole point? That's why you have to
I don't
unlock devices?
I mean, what people do, it's a fucking Wild West, Blunty. I don't know.
I mean, maybe that's
People
true,
do
but DJI is a giant company. So.
Yep.
I mean, they ship on 700, not 1200 for a reason, right? Like, I would think the channels would be the same thing.
It doesn't make sense. I agree that it doesn't make sense. I'm 100% sure. Yep. Here we go. FPV. It's your own website, Blunty.
Not my website.
FPV Freedom Coalition, though. That is your organization. The DJI FPV air unit and goggles are Part 15 certified for use when used on channels 3, 4, 5, and 8 in 25 megabits per second mode and not hacked. If you use channel 1, 2, 6, or 7, or have increased the power output or changed the antennas, or if you're using 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 megabit per second, you need a ham license. 50 meg Now that was the V2 system. I don't know if that's still true for the 03 or the 04. Maybe they changed it. I agree. I don't know how that makes sense, Blunty. I absolutely don't know how that makes sense. Here's a clip from the manual. An amateur radio license may be needed in FCC regions when using channels 1, 2, 6, or 7 as their amateur frequency bands. I think it has to do with, you know what it has to do with? Is the channel goes outside the band. There's a limitation on how much you can go outside the band with Part 15. And if you're using the lower or the higher channels, then you need a license. I don't know. You have to use the middle channels. Anyway, that's why, by the way, that's why the V2 system put channel 8 out of order. The V2 system went 3, 4, 5, 8, 6, 7. Remember that? They needed channel 8, which was the public channel, to be near the middle of the band so it could be Part 15 certified.
No, Metalcraft FPV. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, but in the U.S., you need a ham license to output any power in 5.8 to understand why places limit output. It's big. The reason it's limited is because those are Part 15 devices. So they're limited to the power that they're certified for. That's why you see limits.
You don't need a a license to output any power on 5.8 gigahertz. That's not true, Middlecraft. I don't need a ham license to operate this cell phone. This cell phone has exactly. This cell phone has a Wi-Fi radio in it. It operates in 5.8 gigahertz. I don't need a ham license because it's Part 15 certified. You need a ham license if you're using a non-Part 15 transmitter. Or if you're using a Part 15 transmitter, but you have modified it so that it's no longer matching the certified configuration. So if I'm using if I buy a DJI Mavic, I don't need a ham license to use that. That's 100% Part 15 certified, at least as I understand it. The FPV systems, if you do the ham unlock or something like that, suddenly now you're no longer Part 15 certified and you need a ham license. So yes, you should get a ham. Here's the thing though. You should get a ham license if you care about being compliant with the rules. But no one cares. No one will ever care if you have a ham license. And technically, ham licenses are only for amateur transmissions anyway. So like the only time someone would care if you have a ham license is if you're a commercial operator and like some insurance company or some company that's hiring you wants to make sure you've ticked all the boxes. But technically, you're not allowed to do Part 97 transmissions for pay anyway. And there's, nobody cares about that either. So, Metalcraft says, I'm not speaking about Part 15. Oh, well, okay. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, you need a ham license to use analog transmitters 100% of the time. Yep. Yes, that is true. Because none of the analog transmitters are Part 15 certified. Anyway. Aspera F1, that noise looks excessive to me. It seems, I can't tell what you've done with the Y-axis though, but that seems like a lot of noise to me, just from that screenshot. Thank you, $5 super chat from Horizon G-Tag. I'm getting my first FPV drone, controller 3, goggles 3, etc. Wait, that's an old question. Sorry. Patrick Delaney, thoughts on the Cinnamini from Rotor Riot with the gimbals? Yeah. I think it's pretty freaking cool. Let's take a look at that. Cinnamini. By the way, I think you spelled it Cinnamini, like cinnamon roll. I feel like they missed out by naming it the Cinnamini, as in cinema, instead of the Cinnamini. It can be bought with a gimbal built in. And I believe the gimbal can either be top or bottom mounted. I'm pretty sure I saw Blunty using Bubby using a bottom mounted version of this gimbal. It seems pretty cool. I don't know. I haven't flown it. God, don't crash it. But yeah, to get cool cinematic shots on these little drones, it's very cool. It's I don't know if I would say innovative, but very cool. Let's put it that way. All right. Guess what, guys? We're 2 minutes to the end of the stream. If I didn't get to your question, just email me, jb@joshuabardwell.com, and I will do my best to help you out. The bottom-mounted one is custom. Well, Skydozer, I asked, how do you land it with a bottom-mounted gimbal? And the answer was, somebody catches it. But they did point out that there are certain types of shots where you need the drone to be above the subject and you need a gimbal underneath. You can't just have a gimbal mounted on the front looking down. Like shots where you want to fly directly over the subject and you want the gimbal to track backwards. This would be typically done with a dual operator setup where one guy's flying the drone with a camera and the gimbal is a separate camera. But that you can get some really, really cool shots that way. And there are some shots you can get only with a bottom mounted gimbal. So, okay, guys, thank you so much for coming to the stream. Blunty, thank you for your help and your input as always. We did not do Getting Over It. Is Ciati streaming today? I haven't seen him in the chat. AJ has a pair of Fat Shark Dominator HD goggles. The buttons don't seem to match what's described in the user guide. It's weird because, like, the Dominator HD goggles just have, like, you know, they have a record button and they have a back button and they have a joystick, and that's the only controls they have. So, like, what could go wrong, man? Email me. Let's talk about it.
I'll say, for the first time in a while, we have a plan to be back Sunday, August 10th. That's scheduled on YouTube, so you can be ready to see us. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back Sunday, August 10th.
Yeah, what Caribbean island am I... Actually, the Virgin Islands are not in the Caribbean, I don't think. Are they? What tropical island am I going to next time? Unfortunately, none. But I will be drinking this vodka. Good night, everybody.